True and scary stories from around the world. Joseph is your host. We are talking about JFK and Lee Harvey Oswald. Back right after this.
Embark on a thrilling journey with Joseph as he uncovers the spine-chilling truth behind aliens and government cover-ups. Brace yourself for a roller coaster of true and scary stories from around the world that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew.
You are listening to True and Scary. Welcome back. We are talking about J.F. Kennedy and Lee Harvey Oswald. Oswald looked startled when Baker pointed his gun directly at him. Mrs. Robert Reed, a clerical supervisor at the depository, who returned to her office within 2 minutes of the shooting, said she saw Oswald, very calm, on the second floor holding a Coca-Cola. As they walked past each other, Mrs. Reed said to Oswald, "The president has been shot," to which he mumbled something in response, but Reed did not understand him. Oswald was believed to have left the depository through the front entrance just before police sealed it off. Truly later pointed out to officers that Oswald was the only employee that he was certain was missing. At about 12:40 p.m., 10 minutes after the shooting, Oswald boarded a city bus, probably due to the heavy traffic. He requested a transfer from the driver and got off 2 blocks later. Oswald then took a taxicab to his rooming house at 1026 North Beckley Avenue and entered through the front door at about 1 p.m. According to his housekeeper, Arlene Roberts, Oswald immediately went to his room, walking pretty fast. Roberts said that Oswald left a very few minutes later, zipping up a jacket he was not wearing when he had entered earlier. As Oswald left, Roberts looked out of the window of her house and last saw him standing at the northbound Beckley Avenue bus stop in front of her house. Quick break. We'll be right back. True and Scary. I am Joseph. And we are back. I'm Joseph. We're talking about J.F. Kennedy and Lee Harvey Oswald. It's been 61 years later, and we're still talking about it. We still don't believe that Oswald was the lone shooter. The single bullet theory. Was there more than one? 4 shots? That's what we're learning about here in 1963 when JFK and Lee Harvey Oswald. The Warren Commission concluded that at approximately 1:15 p.m. Dallas patrolman J.D. Tibbet drove up in his patrol car alongside Oswald, presumably because Oswald resembled the broadcast description of the man seen by witness Howard Brennan firing shots at Kennedy's motorcade. He encountered Oswald near the corner of East 10th Street and North Patton Avenue. This location is about 9/10 of a mile, 1.4 kilometers south east of Oswald's rooming house, a distance that the Warren Commission concluded Oswald could have easily walked. Tibbet pulled alongside Oswald and apparently exchanged words with him through the right front or vent window shortly after 1:15 p.m. Tibbet exited his car. Oswald immediately fired his pistol and killed the policeman with 4 shots. Numerous witnesses heard the shots and saw Oswald flee the scene, holding a revolver. 9 positively identified him as the man who shot Tibbet and fled. 4 cartridge cases found at the scene were identified by expert witnesses before the Warren Commission and the House Select Committee as having been fired from the revolver later found in Oswald's possession, excluding all other weapons. The bullets taken from Tibbet's body could not be positively identified as having been fired from Oswald's gun, as the bullets were too extensively damaged to make conclusive assessments. It's a lot to process still yet. After 61 years, we are talking about JFK and that fateful day when Oswald, from the school depository, assassinated the 35th President of the United States. We'll be right back, children. Don't be so scared. Welcome back. This is True and Scary. I am Joseph. Arrest at the Texas Theater. Shoe store manager Johnny Brewer testified that he saw Oswald ducking into the entrance alcove of his store. Suspicious of this activity, Brewer watched Oswald continue up the street and slip without paying into the nearby Texas Theater, where the film War is Hell was playing. He alerted the theater's ticket clerk, who telephoned police at about 1:40 p.m. As police arrived, the house lights were brought up and Brewer pointed out Oswald sitting near the rear of the theater. Police officer Nick McDonald testified that he was the first to reach Oswald, and that Oswald seemed ready to surrender, saying, "Well, it is all over now." McDonald said that Oswald pulled out a pistol, tucked into the front of his pants, then pointed the pistol at him and pulled the trigger. McDonald stated that the pistol did not fire because the pistol's hammer came down on webbing between the thumb and index finger of his hand as he grabbed for the pistol. McDonald also said that Oswald struck him, but that he struck back, and Oswald was disarmed. As he was led from the theater, Oswald shouted he was a victim of police brutality. I mean, come on. Was he a fucking nutcase? You just killed a police officer. You just assassinated the president, and now? I don't understand. People's chemical imbalance, something just go click and to go crazy. I just don't understand how it happens. Anyway, we're talking about JFK and Lee Harvey Oswald. Let's continue. Oswald was formally arraigned for the murder of Officer Tibbet at 7:10 p.m. Soon after his arrest, Oswald encountered reporters in a hallway. Oswald declared, "I didn't shoot anybody, and they've taken me in because of the fact that I live in the Soviet Union. I'm just a patsy." Later, at an arraigned press meeting, a reporter asked, "Did you kill the president?" And Oswald, who by that time had been advised of the charge of murdering Tippit, but had not yet been arraigned in Kennedy's death, answered, "No, I have not been charged with that. In fact, nobody has said that to me yet. The first thing I heard about it was when the newspaper reporters in the hall asked me that question." As he was led from the room, the question was called out, "What did you do in Russia? And how did you hurt your eye?" Oswald answered, "A policeman hit me." By early the next morning, shortly after 1:30 a.m., he had been arraigned for the assassination of President Kennedy. Right back, children. Hang tight. This is true and scary. Let's continue. Oswald was interrogated several times during his 2 days at Dallas Police Headquarters. He admitted that he went to his rooming house after leaving the book depository. He also admitted that he changed his clothes and armed himself with a .38 caliber revolver before leaving his house to go to the theater. Oswald denied killing Kennedy, and Tippit denied owning a rifle, and said to photographs of him holding a rifle and a pistol were fakes. He denied telling his co-worker he wanted a ride to Irving to get curtain rods for his apartment. He said that the package contained his lunch. He also denied carrying a long, bulky package to work the morning of the assassination. Oswald denied knowing an A.J. Hidell. Oswald was then shown a forged Selective Service System card bearing his photograph and the alias Alec James Hidell that he had in his possession at the time of his arrest. Oswald refused to answer any questions concerning the card, saying, "You have the card yourself, and you know as much about it as I do." FBI Special Agent James P. Hosty and Dallas Police Captain Will Fritz, Chief of Homicide, conducted the first interrogation of Oswald on Friday, November the 22nd. When Oswald was asked to account for himself at the time of the assassination, he replied that he was eating his lunch in the first floor lounge known as the Domino Room. He said that he then went to the second floor lunchroom to buy a Coca-Cola from the soda machine there and was drinking it when he encountered Dallas motorcycle policeman Marion L. Baker, who had entered the building with his gun drawn. Oswald said that while he was in the Domino Room, he saw 2 Negro employees walking by. One he recognized as Junior, and a shorter man whose name he could not recall. Junior Jarman and Harold Norman confirmed to the Warren Commission that they had walked through the Domino Room around noon during their lunch break.
True and scary stories from around the world. Joseph is your host. We are talking about JFK and Lee Harvey Oswald. Back right after this.
Embark on a thrilling journey with Joseph as he uncovers the spine-chilling truth behind aliens and government cover-ups. Brace yourself for a roller coaster of true and scary stories from around the world that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew.